So you know what? I gotta ask you this question. How did you get the name Alex the Great?
You know, a lot of person is very curious. Like, if I go to the bank, they're like, "Is this your real name?"
Right, right.
So I mean, I'm a very critical thinker.
Right.
I am for the blacks.
Right.
The black race. And I like inspiration.
Exactly.
I look up to leaders or successful men who I want to be like, who has the influence to inspire.
Right.
Right? Because my dream to inspire the uninspired, right?
Right.
Because there was a point in my life where I didn't have much inspiration. A lot of person didn't believe in me and hold my hands and push me forward,
Right, right.
Was there, my little sister, my big sister, my family basically.
Right.
And I was saying that, the world should, I want to be in a position one day to inspire
somebody else.
A lot of persons. So that's my goal. However, in seeking inspiration, right, as I used to listen successful business person and inspirational business person and inspirational person as well.
Right.
One of them was Muhammad Ali. Right. And then, that once they say Muhammad Ali, you have to look into Malcolm X as well.
Right.
And it dragged me a little to our history and what slavery was like.
Right.
And racism. And, so I started doing research. I realized, because before my name was Alex White.
Right.
And just so it's clear, I have no gross about that name.
Right.
Right? It's just that it's not my name. Because theoretically, I'm not white.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So in researching the African history, I realized in most tribes, they used to name you based on what you do, where you live.
Right.
The tribe, and then your mom will give you a special name.
Oh.
So I will name Chef Alex from Chef Alex Kingston.
Right. Oh.
Right.
Okay. If he was breaking it down like traditionally in the African sense.
Traditionally.
Right.
So your name from where you come from, what your tribe is about, and so that for me was identity.
Right.
It allows you to know what you were, what tree you were blossomed from.
Right.
So I look into it and I realize this is why a lot of persons is confused, because they're a singer, they love to sing, but they're working in the bank.
Right. Which is confusing.
Yeah, but if they had known that their grandmother and their great grandmother and their whole generation was singers, they would have stick to that part. So a big part of slavery is that we were robbed from our identity, and our name was a part of it, right?
Right.
However, whilst I was at Wyndham Hotel before it burned down,
right,
I was working in the Italian restaurant as an assistant chef, right?
Right.
And there was a night when there was a hurricane, and the entire chefs couldn't make it to work. So I was the only one that was willing and the only one that could make it.
Right.
As everyone would say, So I set up the kitchen. The food and beverage manager said, "Alex, what you need?" I said, "Well, I just need somebody to pick garlic and strip onion for me."
Right.
Right? And trust me, for the first half of the opening of the restaurant, which they had make all the guests come to that restaurant because I was the only chef. The manager, food and beverage manager, the front of house manager, and the GM stood aside because it was an open restaurant.
Right.
They were like, "Yo, this is the smoothest service I ever see." Right?
Right.
And it was like 200 people. And it was me and a girl from the HR department. Right?
Oh, wow.
And she had nails and, I can't do this, But the menu wasn't big. So it was feasible, right? And then one of the wait staff, his name is Pete. He's a good friend of mine now because I never forgot that he was the one who started to call me Alex the Great, right?
Oh.
So he was like, bro, you know what? There's a great thing where conquer the world, you know, and Alex the Great, you know, if you look him up, you know. You know, so that did kind of seem fun. And then now him starts him every day, you know, and Alex the Great. And then everybody here heard about that night, you know. Even though the second half that the executive chef and the sous chef come in and start chipping because they reach now. You know, but just my work ethics and all of that, a lot of persons respect me from then, you know, and he started calling me the name and look into it and I start to like it as well, and I'm like, yeah, you know, and then with the whole search for the whole African history, I was like, you know what, this is right.
Definitely.
So a lot of persons get carried away thinking that I'm calling myself the greatest chef in the world, you know. But there and then I said, you know what, I want to create my own legacy. I want my kids to born and know that they are destined for greatness in whatever they do.
Definitely.
You know, in life, in anything. So that's just basically that. So I try to aim off greatness as a person, right? It play over in some of my work where you try to make a great dish, and you know, but it's not being zealous. It's just my perception of life and my level of understanding, right? So,
right.
I mean, from the day I made the official change, I did a deep poll, by the way, right?
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
For the people who don't know, what is that?
So a deep poll is basically you take one name and replace it with a name. Right? So all my documents, everything is changed over to Alex the Great.
Oh wow, that's impressive. So a lot of people are probably finding that out now because, like I said, like you just said, I thought the great, you was just saying you were one of the greatest chef. I actually thought that before you told me the story, but that was I like that though. I like that. And
I mean, a lot of persons have perception of, and I have no grosses because people will say things about what they don't understand.
Definitely.
I don't judge them.
Definitely. You know? And once you have understanding, because you know, like you said, with consciousness, right? When you have a level of consciousness, it's easier now for you to maneuver and understand the world and understand when people do things. Sometimes it's out of ignorance. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's why we want to have this conversation so a lot of people can understand you more. You know what I mean? Yeah, because like I said, man, I have some friends and I know people that know you, and you know, they're the one that put me onto you. And I was watching a lot of stuff that you'd be doing, and I was like, okay, this guy's onto something else. You know what I mean? Because I see that your attitude and your I saw you did a dish with what's that called? It's like a gizzada. And it's like you're trying to play with a traditional stuff.
Traditional Jamaican stuff.
Right. And there's not a lot of people who's doing that right now. And I embrace people who are standing up for the culture and standing up for what we stand for, because this is what we know. We don't know nothing else. We grew up and eat these food, and we grew up and make these food. So why not try to bring these food to another level? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Definitely agree. And I mean, so much persons respect our culture,
right?
Except we,
definitely,
we tend to look abroad on what other people have and not appreciating what we have.
Right, and it's okay. It's okay sometimes for people to look outside and want to learn, but I don't think you should implement what you learn in your life. I don't think you should take somebody else's culture and make it your own, because it's not going to be authentic no more. And you will never, like a friend that I have always tell me this, you will never be able to cook like the French. You know what I mean? Because you're never going to get the type of ingredients they have. It's hard for you to learn the techniques. If you go to a French kitchen in France or wherever in the world, if you go to Japan or China and try to out cook a Japanese, you can't do it.
Can't do it.
so it don't make no sense. It don't matter how good you are, you cannot out. It's like somebody.
You touch on something vital that a lot of persons is unaware of.
Right.
Right? And I say this a lot. Like the tomato in Italy is very different from the tomato in Jamaica.
Different, exactly.
Right? The onions there are way different. Like I used to watch movies, right? And I used to see like they used to eat onion like a fruit.
Right.
That speaks to the level of sugar that's in that
and
onion.
The tomatoes too are like that. They eat the tomatoes like.
So I mean, those type of understanding helped me to create dishes. Like I've cooked for Italian was like, whoa, wait a minute.
Right.
You know, I have to use additives to modify my understanding, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know that like in France or in Italy, the tomato might be a little sweeter than Jamaican tomato, which them does pick to sell it.
Right.
You know, so I would add a little sugar. You know, first of all, cooking, it would be like, no, you can't do that, but based on understanding, you realize like, hey, products are not getting enough time to be fertile.
No, and it's majority of it is tainted with. They tainted, you know what I mean? They already manipulated them, and you know what I mean, to get a mass amount of it instead of having quality, they're getting quantity.
Yeah,
and you know what? Let me tell you something.
Even the same amount of nutrients, you're not getting that from it.
Hell no. You know, like in school, they used to teach us how to make a tomato sauce. The tomato sauce, I learned it from an Italian chef, right? They don't use tomato paste.
Yeah.
But like you say, sometimes, all right, for instance, it's coming from Italy. It goes to America, and then it comes down to Jamaica.
Yeah.
When it comes to America, the American palate is different from the Italian palate. So they have to change the recipes in order for you to make this dish or this thing, whatever you want to, this recipe suitable for the people of America or anywhere else in the world. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
You got to understand that the Spanish people, they like, you know, tangy food. They like a lot of
tangy food.
You know what I mean?
Spicy.
And then Americans like more sweet and salty stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you and that Jamaica and the Caribbean people are they have like a balance of both of those. They like sweet, salty, and sometimes tangy. That's how we get the pickles and stuff like that. But if you go to like Germany and these places, they eat a lot of pickles. They eat a lot of salad. You know what I mean? But like I said, I wish that more people would educate themselves in that, and rather than try to outcook somebody from Japan or China, just learn the techniques they have and use it in your culture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
modify our culture.
Right, and improve it. So